Bruce Arians.
He will probably be, not probably, definitely is the most influential coaching figure, father figure, speak, that I've ever had in my life in this league. So as long as I shall live or continue to be in this league.
Bowles moves up from defensive coordinator after Arians moves into the front office. For the third year in a row, there will be runners at second base when MLB games reach extra innings. In a rules package finalized today, doubleheaders will go back to 9-inning games. They had been 7 innings the last 2 years. Wisconsin sophomore Johnny Davis tells ESPN's Malika Andrews on NBA Today he'll hire an agent and enter the draft. Davis was the Big Ten Player of the Year, averaging 19 points and 8 rebounds a game.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel. Plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muse who. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We have a lot to get to over the course of the next 3 hours. Shea Dixon, 1 hour from right now. We'll talk a little LSU football. Some potential transfer decisions that could impact LSU coming down the line. LSU football coming down the line. And, of course, LSU Auburn 3-game series gets kicked off at the box tonight. We will talk plenty about that over the next 3 hours as well. LSU women's basketball did tweet out sort of a little cryptic tweet a bit ago, where Kim Mulkey was boarding a plane at Baton Rouge Metro Airport, private jet. So where is Coach going? There she is leaving or departing Baton Rouge Metro. If you're watching with us here, there she is, jamming out to some, I don't know what she's listening to, but she's having a darn good time there on the plane. Maybe some Jim Croce. Not really sure exactly what might be on the playlist for Coach. Have it pretty good accord that Coach might be going to score a little bit of hardware today. So we should have that announcement here sometime in the very near future, but I think it's going to be a really good day for Kim Mulkey and for the LSU women's basketball program as Coach is hopping on a jet plane to an undisclosed destination as of right now. But obviously, what a huge season this was for LSU women's basketball in year one under Kim Mulkey, and should be a pretty big day today. So when we get that news, should be here shortly. We'll pass it along to you. So stay tuned for that. Hope you're having a great day so far. LSU baseball is going to take on Auburn tonight in Game 1 out at the box. And it is going to be Blake Money Game 1. It'll be Mikhail Hilliard Game 2, and then TBD in Game 3 for LSU this weekend against an Auburn team that kind of looks a lot like LSU. They mirror each other a good bit. Actually, not that dissimilar from what we saw with LSU in Florida a week ago, statistically anyway. So LSU is 18-7, Auburn 17-8. LSU's 3-3 in the league. Auburn's 3-3 in the league. Auburn lost a home series to Ole Miss. LSU lost a home series to A&M. Auburn won a road series at A&M. LSU won a road series at Florida. I mean, you're looking at two teams that are very similar with the way their seasons have played out, and teams that statistically are similar as well. Auburn's hitting 309. That's third in the league. LSU's hitting 300. That's fifth in the league. As far as team ERA, Auburn is at 3.77. LSU's at 3.48. That's good for 4th and 5th in the league. LSU 4th, Auburn 5th in team ERA. Neither team has had really great, consistent starting pitching, and they've kind of had to piece it together a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see which team can find a way with I don't want to call it a makeshift pitching staff, because you got arms, and LSU's going to have guys that start and have the potential to go deep with Blake Money tonight and with Mikhail Hilliard tomorrow. But it's not your typical Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go as deep in the ballgame as you can, a type scenario that you're typically used to in college baseball, or we typically are used to seeing with with championship caliber squads. So LSU and Auburn, we'll keep an eye also on Sonny DeShera. If you're not familiar, he is a big boy. You will not be able to miss him. He's about 6'1", 265. I mean, he looks it. But, I mean, he is in the mold of Wes Ray and Sykes Orvis and some of those guys that we've seen roll through this league in the past that are just big boppers in the lineup to do one thing, and that's mash the baseball. Sonny DeShera leads the SEC in batting average, in on-base percentage, in slugging. He's slugging .924. I mean, it is crazy right now. He's hitting .455. So it's a big boy in the middle of the lineup. They got 3 guys batting over 300. Not that dissimilar from LSU, where you look at that murderer's row, and if you get past it, you feel comfortable, although LSU has started to hit 1 through 9. Kind of similar. So a big opportunity for LSU this weekend with Auburn coming in, because, man, when you look at, I know we've talked about it a bunch, but the way that LSU's schedule kind of shapes up, this was an opportunity early in the season with the A&M series and Auburn series at home to kind of get, a little bit ahead of the curve. Well, you lost the home series to A&M, but you won the road series at Florida, so in some respects that's a wash. Now you get the home series against Auburn. But you know what's coming. It's back-to-back weekends at State, at Arkansas. Then you're home against Missouri, which is a terrible baseball team. And you're home against Georgia, which is a pretty good baseball team. It's been ranked this year as well. And then you go to Bama, and you're home against Ole Miss, and then at Vandy to wrap it up. So, I mean, you have your tough stretch coming with back-to-back road series at State and at Arkansas. See if you can get yourself a little bit of a lead here, so to speak. Get yourself your head above water for what's coming, so that way, even if you manage to go 500 over the next 6, you're still a game above 500 or 2 games above 500, however it may go this weekend. So put yourself in position this weekend. That's what's going to be key for this team. Jay Johnson, after the ULM game, did talk about the Auburn Tigers. Here's what he had to say previewing this weekend's opponent.
Good offense, can have a lot of guys that can hit extra base hits, much like us. Looks like pitching-wise, they're kind of finding their way, doing it a little bit like we have, or using a number of guys. Haven't really settled into, like, this is how we're going to do it. Kind of an opener-style approach on last Friday against A&M, and used 3 guys for 3 innings. First baseman really swinging the bat really well, a transfer. They did a nice job in the transfer portal. And they always recruit really well. I mean, when you look at recruiting rankings and rosters and guys landing on campus, I mean, they're going to come in with a good team and good players. So we need to be sharp in the things that have made us successful and continue to improve and be ready to roll. And I have no doubt that our players will be.
Hayden Mullins, a lefty from Auburn, is slated to get the ball tonight for the Tigers, for the Auburn Tigers, that is. Hayden Mullins, hey, look, if you're looking for matchups, the lefty is interesting because LSU did struggle last week with Barco, a lefty. I can't sit here and tell you I know a ton about Hayden Mullins and what specifically the issues that he might present for this team. But, I mean, I can look at the box score on him, and, you're looking at a guy with a 3.52 ERA. He's got 16 strikeouts in 15 1/3 innings pitched, so a little more than a strikeout per inning pitched. Let's see. You have a right-handed dominant lineup, which you think would be beneficial against the lefty, but LSU has struggled with lefties. So see if they can go keep that offensive train rolling tonight against Auburn in Game 1. 6 o'clock on the SEC Network, so it is on linear TV if you want to watch it. Of course, you can listen on our sister station, Eagle 98.1, and all the members of the LSU Sports Radio, all the affiliates of the LSU Sports Radio Network. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thursday shows brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. You want to feel like your younger self? There is a way. Theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. I like this, Muse. It's like, what do we call it? Is this like funfetti? Is that what we would call this?
Yeah, the paper? Yeah, that's what I call it. It was like a little funfetti.
Funfetti. It's like it's cardstock paper. So Muso prints out an audio sheet for me, so I have all the audio that we have to play on the show today. And it's cardstock. I mean, it is thick paper.
Good stuff.
And it's but it's like it's funfetti. Like like the cupcakes that have the confetti stuff all over it.
Yeah, the printer was out of regular paper, so I found this.
I'm just curious why we have this. Why do we have funfetti paper in the building?
I would imagine it had to do something with promotions at one point, right?
Probably. I mean, most likely. I just wonder why. And we haven't had a promotions director here in some time. Have we? Brittany's then.
Brittany's now. Yeah.
But it's been some. So I don't even know how we would go track that. Why the funfetti paper is here? But you know what? I'm feeling festive.
There we go.
I'm feeling festive. It's the opening weekend of a baseball opening night of a baseball weekend. I'm excited about that, and I'm excited that our chair situation has been resolved. Lots of comments yesterday about the chair situation being resolved. I got lots of congratulatory messages publicly and privately yesterday that we have solved the chair situation here, for me anyway. I mean, everyone else in here is screwed because you all still have to use the crap chairs.
Yeah.
But my chair situation is.
I had to change chairs actually today.
Did you?
Yeah.
It happened?
Yeah, it did. Can't relate, right?
Nope, I can't relate.
Can't relate.
Do you want to use my chair?
You're not going to let me, so it doesn't matter.
No shot.
I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of me saying, sure, Matt. You give me like, ha, well, you can't. I'm not doing that.
Ha, you can't. I'm not even offering.
That's not even the same.
Wasn't even an offer.
See, that's not the same amount of satisfaction.
Wasn't an offer, just a question. It wasn't an offer, it was just a question.
Eh.
No, it was a question. Do you want to use my chair? It's not, Muso, if you would like to use my chair, you may. It was just a question. Do you want to?
No, I'm good.
Good, because you can't. Was never going to offer it to you. It's AFR.
AFR.
Where I'm sitting in a comfortable chair. And we're brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Remember their express care locations, a couple right near campus, as a matter of fact. One on Nicholson, directly across from Tiger Stadium, by the Torchy's Tacos, as a matter of fact. And then on Highland, just through the south gates of LSU, they got a Dutchtown location and points in between. brgeneral.org. It's 7-day a week, walk-in urgent care. If you want to bypass the ER or you need to see someone more quickly than scheduling an appointment to see your doctor, go to brgeneral.org. Find the express care location near you. Remember, you can always check in online. And if you download the Baton Rouge General app, you can check wait times on the app as well at the express care location. So a variety of different things, from allergies to animal bites and sore throats, sinus pain, cuts and scrapes. They've got X-ray, EKG at all their locations as well. brgeneral.org.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt and Hill, The Early Line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthy.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed.
Time for myself.
We found our why.
Have you found yours?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Shea Dixon's going to jump aboard with us at the start of hour 2. So about 45 minutes from right now, we'll chat with Shea. I want to get his thoughts on what he's seen so far out at LSU spring football practice and a couple of recruiting tidbits as well, which, by the way, we are going to touch on in a bit because there are two prospects that would fit the need that LSU has in the transfer portal, and one of them is set to make his announcement coming up very soon. So I do want to get to that coming up here in just a bit. Real quick though, some LSU basketball news. John Rothstein is reporting that Casey Long is following Matt McMahon from Murray State to Baton Rouge. So that's one more position on the coaching staff that's been filled. So interestingly enough, Casey Long was an assistant at VCU from 2015 to 2017 under Will Wade. And the other assistant that's been named is Cody Toppert, who spent the last 3 years at Memphis. So I'm not suggesting anything. It is worth mentioning, a little funny, that one assistant coached under Will Wade, who was, of course, fired for off-the-field violations, or off-the-court violations. And then Cody Toppert has spent the last 3 years at Memphis, which just received a notice of allegations from the NCAA for alleged violations under Penny Hardaway. I'm not, by the way, inferring anything. I'm merely pointing out that anywhere you go in college basketball, you're going to find some tie to someone who has done some shady stuff in the eyes of the NCAA. And you have a choice. You either do like LSU did and you fire Will Wade, or you do like Kansas did and you give Bill Self a lifetime contract. Be curious to see what LSU's basketball roster does look like. We've run through this a bunch. Justice Hill is one guy that they've already gotten the pledge from, who joined Matt McMahon from Murray State. And there may be many more. If you haven't been keeping an eye on what's happened at Murray State, the list is extensive of guys who have hit the portal there since Matt McMahon left, and Steve Prohm has been reintroduced as the head coach. A reserve guard, Trey Hannibal, starting forward, DJ Burns, they're in the portal. You might remember Hannibal transferred to Murray State from South Carolina. So it was at South Carolina 2 seasons ago, then this year played at Murray State. And then DJ Burns started his career in Baton Rouge at Southern and left Southern and went to Murray State. So if, by the way, because those guys have already transferred, if they do transfer somewhere else, like let's say they follow Matt McMahon to Baton Rouge, they would have to sit out a year since they've already used their one-time transfer. We mentioned that Justice Hill's out of Murray State, but he's now in Baton Rouge. That's official. A reserve guard, Deontay Bostic, reserve forward, Jackson Civils, have also entered the portal. KJ Williams, who is the OVC Player of the Year, he's entered the portal as well, although he will test his NBA stock but has not hired an agent. And then Tevin Brown has declared for the draft, but will hire an agent and has ended his college career. So Hannibal, Burns, Hill, Bostic, Civils, Williams, Brown. That's 7 players from the Murray State team this past year that have already declared they're leaving the Murray State program. So Murray State is dealing with, don't just think, well, it's just LSU because of Will Wade. It's literally anywhere you go where there's a coaching change, you're going to have a similar outcome. So Murray State is going to have to make over its roster, but less interesting than that is, could any of those players potentially follow Matt McMahon to Baton Rouge the way that Justice Hill did? Because you could have somewhat of a Murray State reunion in Baton Rouge to make up this roster year one under Matt McMahon. All right, it's after further review. I do want to get to the LSU football stuff here in just a quick second. Remind you about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138, reliefwindows.com. Windows door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. They are energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Make your home more energy efficient, lower your monthly energy bills, beautify the exterior of your home, increase your home's resale value. It is Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. When Brian Kelly was opening up spring football at LSU and he had his pre-spring press conference, I got the mic one time, and I was able to ask him a question. And I asked him, when he looked at his roster, post-bowl game and post-signing day, and they've added 17 mid-year enrollees, what positions did they think they were still in need of adding to? And this is what Brian Kelly said just a few weeks ago.
I think our depth situation at tight end is a concern of mine. I think that's an area that we need to continue to build on, and not sure that it's a quick fix. I think it's something that we're still going to have to look at. And there may be some people that are on our roster that might have to change positions and play that position. We're going to have to address it one way or the other. So it's still a concern. There might be some movement there in the transfer portal after spring ball, but it is a concern. We're not done on the offensive line. That's still an area that we're actively involved in as well. So I would leave it at those two areas in particular.
That was in no way ambiguous. He said, we have got to address tight end, be it in the transfer portal, moving guys on our roster. I mean, he was very clear. They are not done. Like, they will add somebody somewhere at tight end. We did talk about a Notre Dame transfer who ended up at Boston College. And when you look at the transfer portal, you're looking for options. Well, there might just be one within the division that became available, and that's former five-star tight end Baylor Cupp, who started his career at Texas A&M. The quick backstory here with Cupp, he was the number 16 overall prospect in the class of 2018. So he had offers from everybody. Bama, Georgia, LSU, Notre Dame, Penn State, Texas, USC, of course. So Brian Kelly did recruit Baylor Cupp when he was the coach at Texas A&M. So Baylor Cupp is a consensus 5-star in the class of 2018. He signs with the Aggies there in the 2019 spring game, had a big day, 5 catches, 88 yards, 31-yard touchdown in that game. Well, in fall camp before the 2019 season, he breaks his leg. He's done for the year. He rehabs. Fall camp the next year, has a shoulder injury, season-ending surgery, done for the year. So he misses the 2019 and 2020 seasons. Again, this is a consensus 5-star tight end prospect who missed his first 2 years because of injury. Comes back in 2021, played just 88 snaps this year, and of course, you had a a very talented tight end room in College Station. Jalen Weidermeyer is an NFL tight end, and it was just a log jam there that Kupp had gotten mixed up. And then when you look at what's happened now, of course, Max Johnson's brother Jake Johnson, who had been an LSU commit, flipped to Texas A&M after the coaching change. Well, Jake Johnson's a 5-star, number 1 tight end in the country, who's an early enrollee going through drills right now. Max Wright's a former defensive end who's been working with the first team there as well this spring. They got 2020 signee Blake Smith. I could go through more. Point is, they got a lot of bodies at tight end in College Station, and this former 5-star had 2 season-ending injuries and just got caught in the shuffle of a logjam of talent while he was on the shelf rehabbing. So you're looking at a guy who physically kind of fits the bill, who was a 5-star tight end, who was recruited by Brian Kelly coming out of high school, and is looking for a new home, as he is now available through the transfer portal. And Brian Kelly said flatly he is going to have to address the tight end spot. Kupp is 6'7", 245, so he is your prototypical tight end that can be attached, that can block, that can also catch the football and be effective in the passing game as well. The bottom line is you don't have a better option. So maybe you wait to, and I'm not saying that Kupp is the guy, but if you're Brian Kelly, he was in no way ambiguous, going to address tight end position, portal or elsewhere. Here's a guy in your division that's a former 5-star that's looking for a spot. You're familiar with him from recruiting him in South Bend. That would make a lot of sense. Again, not done, but would make sense if that's a guy that they would target. The other position Brian Kelly talked about there was offensive line. And there is some news because we told you about Tyler Steen in the past. So Tyler Steen is a Vanderbilt offensive line transfer. He started 30 games at Vanderbilt, and he started on both sides of the line, and he is graded out by 247 Sports in their transfer rankings with a 91. So this is the best available offensive line transfer right now in college football. He's down to Alabama, LSU, Virginia, and Kentucky, according to his father, Darius Steen. And he said he is net quote. This is according to 247 Sports. He's narrowed it down to Bama, LSU, Virginia, and Kentucky is hanging in there. So it sounds like it's Bama, LSU, Virginia. Virginia's interesting because Steen's younger brother Blake signed with the Cavaliers in February. So if the Steen brothers want to play together, it would be at UVA. But Steen has taken official visits to both LSU and was at Bama this past weekend. The decision is expected to come early next week, Monday or Tuesday. Again, that's according to Steen's father telling that directly to 247 Sports. This is a guy that, and it's also worth noting that LSU recently hired Corey Phillips from NC State. He was a former Vanderbilt staffer who recruited Steen. And that was one of the reasons Steen was considering NC State. So he's now on the LSU staff. So there's some ties there. There's a lot of connective tissue. If Tyler Steen picks LSU, he is a day one plug-and-play starter at one of your tackle spots. Maybe Cam Wire beats him out at left tackle and Steen starts at right. But either way, you're talking about a guy that has started 30 games in his career in the Southeastern Conference. He is immediately the day he steps on campus, if you get him, your most experienced offensive lineman. Brian Kelly made it certain they're not done at offensive line. They're still looking for additions there, and this guy would make a ton of sense. So, yes, I'm telling you about 2 guys within the SEC, but 2 guys one that was a highly coveted prospect that hasn't played a bunch, one that was not as highly rated a prospect but has played a ton and has made himself a very valuable prospect, both at positions of need that Brian Kelly talked about, both looking to make a decision pretty quickly. And on Steen, his dad said we'll know Monday or Tuesday what that transfer destination is going to be. Both Bama and LSU are going through spring football already, so it doesn't seem like that's something that's really going to make a difference as you're already into the semester. You'd be looking at a summer enrollment there for Steen, it would seem. I know his dad had said prior that he wanted to get on campus sometime, unless if there's a mid-semester enrollee process or procedure that could happen. But These are two guys worth keeping an eye on and two that could be major additions for LSU at positions of gigantic need. LSU's got the spots, and that's two to keep an eye on as they inch closer here with spring practice underway. We will talk to Shea Dixon in 30 minutes from right now. I'll get his thoughts on those two guys and how spring ball is looking so far. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, we will go around the SEC. Glad you're here. Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. That's GMFS Mortgage and gmfsmortgage.com. Lower your monthly mortgage payment. Skip a payment or two as you go through the closing process. Shorten the life of your mortgage. We shaved 5 years off the life. I'll be done paying off my house 5 years sooner than we had anticipated because we refied last year. Take advantage of these historically low rates. A local loan officer from GMFS Mortgage can help. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. We'll continue next on AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second, but we do have some breaking news. If you were here as we started the show today, share with you some photos of Kim Mulkey boarding a plane, and I mentioned that it seemed as though she was going to pick up some hardware, and we now know exactly what that is. Kim Mulkey has been named the Associated Press National Coach of the Year. Pretty good for the second best coach in the SEC, right? She led the single greatest year one turnaround in the history of the Southeastern Conference. Kim Mulkey took over a team that was 9-13 a year ago and went 26-6, leading LSU, the Lady Tigers, to their most wins since the 07-08 season. They finished number 2 in the Southeastern Conference behind South Carolina. They were ranked 9th in the final AP poll of the season. They won 6 games against ranked opponents. In fact, going 6-1 against ranked opponents. They only lost to number 1 South Carolina. Absolutely astonishing for Kim Mulkey. Her third National Coach of the Year honor. Certainly well-deserved as she reinvigorated this fan base, this program altogether, and did so in just one season. They had more fans at the Maravich Center to watch women's basketball this year than in the previous 4 years combined. Absolutely stunning, an astonishing job. Kim Mulkey preached patience when she took the job at LSU about a year ago, and she said it wouldn't happen overnight. Well, it kind of did, as a matter of fact. I'm not saying it wasn't without great effort or work, because clearly she worked very hard to get this team to buy in and then to have some very key additions to this roster, but she made people care about women's basketball again, and she won at a level that they haven't won in nearly a decade. So congrats to Kim Mulkey, the Associated Press National Coach of the Year. Women's Final Four is up in Minneapolis, so that's where the award presentation is taking place. Coach Mulkey will be part of the press conference about an hour from right now. 4:30 Central Time is when the press conference is going to happen, and I'll tell you that we do have plans to have Coach Mulkey on the show in hour 3. So as soon as she's done with her press conference obligations there in Minneapolis, she's supposed to join us in hour 3. So yeah, we had a little bit of a heads up that this was going to come down today, but thrilled for Coach Mulkey. And not to take something overtly positive and then point out something negative, but it does point out again how foolish, how childish, how small this makes the other coaches in the Southeastern Conference look. When Kim Mulkey had this type of season, which has garnered National Coach of the Year honors, yet the coaches in her league did not even vote her SEC Coach of the Year because they had a noob step in year one wrecked the league with a team that won 9 games a year ago. She was absolutely deserving of SEC Coach of the Year honors, and she even said, I got enough of them trophies, I don't need them. She give me a raise, which she'll get, but earning everything she deserves, or deserving everything that she earns, but she certainly earned this as well. So congrats to Kim Mulkey, the National Coach of the Year for women's college basketball in just her first year in Baton Rouge. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Remember, if you want to bet on the NCAA tournament, you can do so on DraftKings, the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code Baton Rouge, one word. Bet on any college basketball game. Bet just $5. If you win, you can win $200 in free bets on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's easy. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. That's important. The DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word. It's important because that's how you unlock the promo. It's also how they know you heard about it from us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on a college basketball game. Final Four this weekend. If you win $200 in free bets from the DraftKings Sportsbook app. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. And here's the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. We do it every day about this time. let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Former Missouri forward Trevon Brazile has committed to play at Arkansas. 6'9", 215-pounder, started 23 of 25 games as a true freshman for Mizzou. Averaged 6 points, 5 boards, and nearly 2 blocks per game. He was being pursued by Kentucky, Illinois, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Cincinnati after he announced his transfer from Mizzou, but he lands in Fayetteville.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
What a way to be immortalized. Remember Sarah Fuller? Being the first female to score a point or to play in a Division I college football game? Well, she is going into the Hall of Fame. The National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum.
That's a thing?
It's a thing. They have unveiled a limited edition bobblehead of Sarah Fuller. She made history when she played at Vandy as a place kicker in 2020. She actually, when she graduated from Vandy, went to North Texas. Remember, she played soccer. So she went to North Texas, led the North Texas soccer team to an 8-5-4 record while starting all 17 games. And now she was the first signee by the Minnesota Aurora FC of the USLW League and will begin playing for that team in May. But she's going into the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame. Yeah, we're going to come back to that. SEC baseball, by the way, you know LSU and Auburn kick off the weekend tonight at the Box. Arkansas was hosting Little Rock last night. That game got canceled because of the weather, as did Ole Miss's game at Memphis. Of course, there was terrible weather in the region yesterday. 2 games that were played in the league. Tennessee, no issues with Western Carolina. The Vols an 11-1 winner. Those 11 runs on 11 hits. And Missouri beat SIUE 12-2. The game started at 6 o'clock. It was freezing cold and rainy. And SIUE led off the game with a home run. Missouri would go on to outscore them 12-1 from that point on. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. Proudly sell the Savin line. They are a national leader among Savin dealers, but they will service all makes and models. That is Gulf Coast Office Products. gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Yeah, the Sarah Fuller bobblehead thing is, that's a thing. You can buy the bobblehead for $30, but I look at the bobblehead and it's kind of perplexing because I get the concept of a bobblehead, right? It's like an oversized head, and it's the little body. Get it. This is not flattering at all. It does have the ponytail coming out of the back of the helmet, but her arms and hands are so small and her head is so big, it almost looks like a tiny hand bit.
You normally don't see action shots in a bobblehead, though, right? Like, it's normally just somebody standing there.
I have to think about it.
Like, if it's a baseball player, it's normally just them, like, with the bat on their shoulder or whatnot, just posed. You don't normally see, like, an action shot. At least, I can't really recall many.
I'll have to think about that. Because she's in the full windup. Like, ball on tee, right leg back, approaching to kick. Both hands and arms are out. I think it's also weird because if you look at this closely, this looks like a photograph.
It does, doesn't it?
I think that's the problem. Like, that is a photograph.
I was going to say, that looks like a really bad Photoshop job.
That's what this is. That's a photograph.
Yeah.
Like, you look at her face. That's a picture.
It looks
a
just
bobblehead
like
should be plastic. That
Correct.
doesn't look plastic.
Right, so they took a picture. You're right, this is just a bad Photoshop. So they took the picture and they just shrunk her body and made her head larger, I guess, which is why this looks so weird.
It doesn't look great for her. Yeah.
It doesn't look good.
Bad photoshops. I mean,
Yeah, that is a bad Photoshop.
That's
their
Vandy's new logo. They're just on
Yeah,
a roll.
they are.
I mean,
But I don't know that this is
man.
Vanderbilt. I think this is the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame that did this.
That's true. They have a brick and mortar. That'd be something cool to kind of go to.
It's in Milwaukee. I only know this because I read the story.
I'm good. I don't need to go to Milwaukee. Never mind.
You can go watch a ball game up there.
That's true. I get some beer. Beer.
Miller Park.
I'm coming around to the idea again.
Yes, there you go.
Coming around to the idea.
Go to a ball game. You can check out the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame. And then after that, I don't know what else you're going to do. Probably not much.
Eat some cheese.
Yeah, maybe with the UI. If there's season crossovers, maybe you could go watch the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'd be good.
You can do that sometime.
See Giannis, Chris Middleton.
Sure.
Drew. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I did it. It was good.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah.
You went to Milwaukee. Why'd you go to Milwaukee, Paulie?
We went to Green Bay, and then we made a road trip up to Milwaukee.
You went to Green Bay for the football game in 2016?
No, we went for the Saints-Packers game.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that because you were not here that day or days, whenever you did. You were working here at the time.
I think that was before I was working here.
I don't believe you. I remember that. I remember when you left and you went to Green Bay.
That was when I went to Seattle.
No, that's what it was. You're right. That was Seattle. You went to the Saints-Seahawks game.
I did.
Yeah, I remember that now. Okay, so I believe you now. A lot of people did that trip whenever the LSU Wisconsin trip in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Went up to stayed in Milwaukee or whatever. Great trip. Amazing. One of the most fun trips I ever had until the game. Similar to this year with UCLA. Great trip until kickoff. All right, we'll wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
Hey, if you want crawfish tonight, get by Rouse's. There is no place in Louisiana that boils more crawfish every day than Rouse's. All of the Rouse's locations have boiling rooms inside of the Rouse's location. So get on by Rouse's. You want boiled crawfish tonight? Get by Rouse's. Walk in, go to the left, look at the seafood section. You will see the hot and boiled kiosk. The boiled crawfish is grab and go ready. Like they've boiled it, they've packaged it for you, they've priced it so you just grab and roll at any Rouse's location. If you're having your own crawfish boil, Rouse's has live crawfish. In fact, they have everything at Rouse's you would need for your boil. Like when you walk in, you'll see the boiling pots, the paddles, all of the fixins, the boil itself. They got it all at including the crawfish, live and boiled at Rouse's. Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Shea Dixon in about 10 minutes from right now. We'll talk some transfer news, some portal news, obviously, and then what Shea's observations of spring football have been so far. Looking forward to that. The LSU basketball Tigers have gotten another commitment. I'm just gonna honestly have to clumsily sift my way through this. I hate when dudes on Twitter don't put their name. But there's a dude who's on Twitter at Cornelius6 who had been committed to Murray State, decommitted when Matt McMahon left, and is now committed to LSU. So I'm going to see. This just happened. I'm going to see if I can find out more about this. Again, Cornelius Williams is the name on the graphic. Don't know anything about Cornelius Williams other than he was committed to Murray State. Matt McMahon left. He decommitted, and now he is committed to LSU. So Cornelius Williams is newest member of the LSU signing classes. Matt McMahon continues to make over this roster. See if we can look him up and see if we can find. Hell, I mean, I'm doing this on the fly. Do you know anything about Cornelius Williams?
Nope, never heard of him.
All right, he's a 6'10 center out of Hickory, North Carolina for the class of 2022. He is not ranked in the composite, but 247 Sports has him as a 3-star. So 6'10", 195-pound center. Was committed to Murray State. It offers some Austin P. Bryant College, or Bryant University, Coastal Carolina, East Carolina, George Washington. So small schools, mid-majors, but a big dude, 6'10", 195, and he's now committed to LSU here. Again, all of the two signees, 2 commitments that Will Wade had gotten, it all decommitted and were let out of their letter of intent. And all of LSU scholarship players except for Fudge, Reed, Mwani, and who else am I forgetting? Who hasn't declared yet?
Gaines,
thank you. All except those 4 have made their intention known that they're leaving. So Matt McMahon's got to make over this entire roster, and he's got 2 transfers already, and now his first high school commitment for the class of 2022. It's Cornelius Williams, a 6'10 center out of North Carolina who flipped from Murray State to LSU. So this is going to look – the roster this year is going to look like Murray State. I mean, it's probably going to be more transfers from Murray State, and a lot of the guys he had committed to Murray State for the opportunity to play at LSU. It's not going to look very much like a Power 5 roster next year. But front load that schedule with a lot of really winnable games, get a little bit of feel good if you can, and start building toward the future. So Matt McMahon's building up this roster and coaching staff, and it's news every day as we move forward. All right, it's after further review. I'm glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Tomorrow, we will be in New Orleans at the Coterie on Decatur. That's where our shows will be, both Off the Bench and AFR, Friday and Monday for the Final Four. So if you're in New Orleans or you're going to be in New Orleans, you want to come hang out, you are more than welcome to. They got an overflow bar seating area where we have full access. So if you want to come, grab a bite to eat, have a drink, watch the shows, hang out, we'd love to see you. We'll be in New Orleans again Friday and Monday at the Coterie on Decatur. Come on out and join us as we talk Final Four and get ready for a busy weekend. We're looking forward to being in the Crescent City for a beautiful weekend leading up to what should be a record-setting Final Four. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. Sportscenter, Shea Dixon coming up right after the top of the hour.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Michelli.com, 75 years in business. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, our nation's leading distributor of scales. But so often what I think some people overlook or aren't aware of is all of the different calibration that Michelli does. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. They have their track system, which allows you 24/7, 365 access to all of your calibration certificates. That is a free service. And so many times their clients or new clients will find them because they'll go to the website and say, oh, I didn't realize you did that. One of the things that really sets Michelli apart is the fact that, look, if you want something calibrated, they'll come pick it up from your shop. You don't have to worry about packaging it, shipping it, waiting on it to ship back. Just call Michelli. They'll come pick it up, calibrate it, bring it back to you. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They're all about making you more efficient. Michelli.com. Learn more online. Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Yes!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthy.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed.
Time for myself.
We found our why.
Have you found yours?
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. After 10 years with the Seahawks, linebacker Bobby Wagner will stay in the NFC West and join the Super Bowl champion Rams. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Wagner will get a 5-year deal worth $50 million. He was cut by the Seahawks 3 weeks ago. Even though Bruce Arians surprised just about everyone by stepping away from his Buccaneers coaching job, ESPN's Mike Wells says Arians has left the team in a strong position for new head coach Todd Bowles.
Things line up properly, he won't be in a position of failure. Because we've seen, some head coaches get 1 year, maybe 2 years, and 2 years, and they're getting fired. The way the Bucs is set up, Bowles will have an opportunity, at least for next year, as long as Tom Brady's his quarterback, for the Tampa to have a winning season.
Mike Wells on Bart and Hahn. The new baseball season is just a week away. You'll still see runners at second during extra innings, but doubleheaders will go back to 9-inning games. Also, rosters will expand from 26 to 28 players for the first month and last month of the regular season. And the Royals pick up the option next year on manager Mike Matheny.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I am sweating.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. It's a game day. LSU, Auburn. We'll head to the Plains in about 30 minutes from right now. Talk to Lindsay Crosby. Covers the Auburn Tigers for SI. Looking forward to that. Get a preview of LSU's opponent. So, LSU back on the practice field today, Thursday for spring ball. No media availability today, though, for practice. Well, the media is going to get to watch the entire practice on Saturday, all 2 hours, which is just like mind-boggling to have that kind of access. But it's really pretty cool. You get a good view of this squad and the progress they're making. Shea Dixon's been out there. He's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes now. Shady, good to have you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. How are you, Matt?
Doing great. It's always our pleasure. We appreciate you. Before I dive into spring, I did want to ask you about a couple of transfer portal additions that might be fits for LSU, and I know you've written about both. One is Baylor Cupp, the tight end from Texas A&M, and the other is Tyler Steen, the offensive lineman from Vanderbilt. As best you can tell, where is LSU with those two guys?
Well, I guess we'll start with Cupp. Let's start with Cupp, and that's a little bit more fresh. He just entered the portal, I believe it was yesterday, so on Wednesday. But this is a guy who in the 2019 class came out as the number one tight end in the country. He was top 50 prospect, one of the best players in Texas, and ends up signing with A&M, and it looked like he was going to step in and be kind of one of those immediate impact guys. I mean, his name was being thrown out there in that big 2019 cycle, which had a lot of talented players. Derek Stingley, all those guys, as one of the instant impact players, and had a leg injury, then had a shoulder injury, so back-to-back years where he just wasn't on the field at all, and then this past year obviously was away again, and now was running first team in A&M spring ball stuff, and it appears like he was healthy and enters his name into the portal. But it's interesting, of course, LSU wants to tight end as many as they can get, and they have a few spots remaining. But Brian Kelly, as you noted, circled tight end as a spot they really want to go after, and Cupp sounds on paper as good as any if he's healthy. But there is that date of back in February. If you wanted to transfer to another SEC school, from an SEC school, that you had to do it by then, and that date's passed. But if you're a grad transfer, that wouldn't matter. So I'm not sure if he's got it on his mind that, by the end of the semester he'll be graduated, or perhaps by the summer he'll be graduated, and could maybe move over and get in quickly with someone else during fall camp. But kind of as, I guess, the days go by, we'll learn more about it. But certainly a guy that for sure is on LSU's radar right now, and they'll do some digging on.
What about Steen?
Now, and then, right, that's a big one. So this is a kid who's played at Vanderbilt on the offensive line for multiple years and went into the transfer portal months back and said, look, I'm going to take my time to go through all these schools and all of my options. And he's done just that. He's made a ton of visits to different places. And ultimately now has come down to where it looks like next Monday or Tuesday is going to be the day that his dad said they'll have a decision in by, and he'll announce it. But he's weighing everything from where he can kind of further his studies at to really wanting to be an NFL, type player, an NFL prospect that comes out with a higher grade than he has right now at Vandy. And because of that, I think the feeling out there is that LSU and Bama might be, shocker, the two teams that are battling here for him in the end. But he's got a Final Four that Virginia's in, and one of his little brothers, just signed to play football at Virginia in February. So they've got a pull there. Tony Elliott, their new head coach, and I know they've got a relationship with the family. So there's a feeling that if it's not one of the two SEC schools, it might be for Virginia. But we'll know next week. But he's a guy that I think you would look at in the same realm as we're presuming guys like Miles Frazier and Tremont Shorts are. He's the best offensive lineman still available in the portal, and with how many SEC starts he's had, that you take him and you hope you can develop him over the summer and fall into a spot where you feel good about him starting. So that could be big news for LSU kind of early in the start of next week.
From the potential to the present, you've been out there at practice. What have been your observations looking at this offensive line, which, as we've noted, has lost 4 starters from a year ago?
Well, I don't know how much we can glean, right, from just the 20, 30 minutes of a few practices we've watched, which were all in, shells pretty much. They're not in full pads quite yet, and certainly will be this week and into this weekend. As you said, we're going to get to watch an entire practice, which doesn't really ever happen. So we'll be out there for a couple of hours and really get to look at kind of what the O-line looks like, how many guys are kind of fresh and are able to give them reps, how many guys are kind of out, even though Kelly said, look, you may be banged up or whatever, but you're going to have a jersey on. You're going to be out there and, observing and standing around. You're not just disappearing. So we'll probably be able to differentiate those two groups and who's available. But I think they went after 2 guys already in the portal, and now are going after a third, and Steen tells you that their evaluation of the O-line group was that they needed some immediate help. And maybe that's understood, right, that people had said the offensive line hadn't played well, and then you lose 4 starters from it. So I think you probably hope to start with a guy like Cam Wire as the one guy who's got a ton of experience that you need to be able to groom into a starter. And then you've brought in 2, potentially 3 transfers that you all, are older guys that the goal would be to get them in and start them and have them playing. And from there, you find out from all these other guys you got, Matt, on roster. And we've seen some of them play. I mean, Marlon Martinez, I know Dellinger played some last year, even though he's hurt right now and not out there this spring. Charles Turner's played before, and right now he's getting first-team reps at center, which is probably the biggest question mark position of the group, because it's not like they have a returning starter there, and nobody else on roster has been a center for the team before, or been a center at another college. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch. So it's an ongoing development for me, and that's one position that every year I feel like when we get on radio or we're writing about it or covering the team that we say, I'm not so sure about how the O-line's going to do. And I kind of feel in that same spot right now. But with Brian Kelly's pedigree and everything they did at Notre Dame and sending guys to the NFL, you get kind of curious to see what they can do with that group over the next couple of years.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon. When you go out there, Shea, is there a player or position group that does stand out to you based on what you've been able to see?
I mean, defensive line is just so deep. And I mean, Brian Kelly said that too. He said, look, the thing that I would say jumps out to me are the receivers, the defensive line. And for me, when I go out there, Keishawn Butte's out right now. Neighbors is out right now. But you look at them, and again, we don't know what kind of defense Matt House, their new coordinator, is going to run. But he said he'll be multiple. But at Kentucky, a lot of it was, 3 down linemen, a stand-up edge guy or jack linebacker, whatever you want to call it, and a couple linebackers there in the middle. And then you've got a nickel, and Greg Brooks seems to be occupying that position at the moment, a transfer in from Arkansas. But I look at the guys, Mason Smith, Jaquelin Roy, they bring in, Mekhi Wingo, who's the freshman All-SEC guy at Missouri. They bring in Ollie Gay's back, Sony Fanua's back, DJ Ojolari certainly can play with his hand in the dirt or standing up. And it seems that they like Xavier Carter, the old staff at the end of last year. And we've seen him getting a lot of reps. You got Phillip Webb that you hope turns a corner. And I don't even know if I got into mentioning Guillory and Langston was a guy we heard a lot about from Coach O when he was here. So I think that group just has so many options that it would be tough for me to see them not have a really good year. It seems like Jamar Cain's a good coach. They've got a lot of talent. I think they'll have a good scheme with Matt House. So I think right now, and I would hope that goes through the season, that's probably the best group they have.
Shay, you got a feeling on quarterback?
I'll tell you this, and you'll get everyone listening understands it, because people listening are probably people who are participating in this tomfoolery that I'm about to tell you. But
okay.
I go out there and I've filmed 5 minutes, 10 minutes of them throwing at a few practices, a few literally 3. So maybe people have seen 20 minutes of video. And I come around to check the board and Twitter one day, and everybody has already decided who the starting quarterback is. And they said you could just tell it from what they were doing out there. And I was like, I filmed the video, and I didn't see anything. They were running, 11 on 11 at speed at a 2 and trying to just get the O-line to get the blocking schemes right. And I don't know. So maybe Saturday I can tell you more if we watch them the whole time. But I'm betting that this one goes beyond spring. But I've also said it before that people will say, okay, they're not going to name a starter in the spring. I do believe that, and I do believe it goes into the summer workouts and fall. But, Matt, I'm of the opinion that with a whole new staff and everybody getting a clean slate, these first 15 practices are big, because I think that then you go into the kind of true off season, the summer and the fall and into fall camp, kind of with a feeling in your mind of, hey, this guy might be the guy out front, or these two guys might be really neck and neck. And I think that's what's going to make this next month and a couple of weeks pretty interesting.
Shea Dixon on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Go 247. Y'all go read his stuff there. Follow him on Twitter. We appreciate it as always. Shea, thanks for the time, man. Be well.
Okay, I'll see you around.
All right, man. We appreciate it as always from Shea. Good stuff. He's right. I mean, the spring is designed for a veteran team just to go stretch your legs, for a young team to kind of put people in position for fall camp to win jobs. So that's where they are right now, 3 practices in. But Saturday feels like a big day. They'll be in pads, and it'll be a 2-hour drills, and the media will have full access to it, so we're looking forward to getting out there. All right, it's after further hey, I want to remind you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Tell you every single day. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Look, weather like yesterday came through. Last week was just awful in certain areas. And if you noticed shingles either bent up, if it's shingles on the ground, if you're not sure if you had roof damage, give us a shout. One thing you will never hear from us, we're never going to come knock on your door. We don't like when people come knock on our doors at our house, and we're not going to do it to you either. So when you need us, if you need us, we're here at Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. We cover the entire state of Louisiana. I got asked last night, we all do work in Covington? Absolutely. If you're Alexandria or north, our Bossier office can handle it. Anywhere below Alexandria, our Baton Rouge office can handle you. Go to HudcoRoofing.com, fill out the contact form. We'd love to give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. It's better to be safe than sorry. It's like I always say, there's only 2 ways to find out if you got roof damage. Get up there and inspect it, or wait till it rains, you get water in your house, and one of those options is better than the other. Let us come give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. NFL win totals have been posted by one sportsbook out in Vegas. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
It's been a great 3 years. When you know it's time, it's time. And no better time than right now. 3 years ago, sitting at this podium, we talked about creating a culture, a winning atmosphere, that we're going to do it our way. We're going to be fast, we're going to be physical, and we're going to be smart. And it's paid off. Mostly I got to thank the coaches, man. You guys did it all. I mean, I really didn't do shit. I just led the ship, but you guys did it all. You had them individually every single day. The players bought in.
Bruce Arians suddenly announced his retirement. He'll move into a front office position with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's not wrong. He really didn't do anything. I mean, Tom Brady showed up and they won a Super Bowl. I mean, it's kind of what happened. So, congrats to Bruce Arians, who in the end ended up having what on paper looks really impressive, the amount of wins and playoff wins. But he won 5 playoff games with the Bucs. Previous Tampa Bay coaches won 6 combined. I mean, thank you, Tom Brady. I mean, Bruce Arians didn't wave a magic wand. He had the greatest quarterback ever, who was the special sauce to get this thing done. So Bruce Arians steps aside, and Todd Bowles is elevated to head coach. Now, it's interesting because Bowles had interviewed for a couple of head coaching jobs in this cycle, Vikings and Bears. And previously, you remember, was the head coach of the Jets from 2015 to 2018, where he's 24-40. God bless him, he was the coach of the Jets, and it's just a seemingly impossible place to go win. But this will be the second go-round now for Todd Bowles, who's 58 years old. He was the interim for the Dolphins back in 2011 for 3 games, but as a full-time head coach, his opportunity came with the Jets, and now this is his second opportunity to be an NFL head coach. Bowles did meet with the media as well, and talked about the opportunity. Number 2, please, if you could, Muse. Talked about the opportunity that he has here in Tampa.
You can only control what you control. You try to be the best coach you can be, whether that's an assistant, a quality control coordinator, or a head coach. You be the best coach you can be because you can live with yourself every day. And whatever job you get, you earn because other people see it. So sometimes the timing isn't right. There's only 32 of these things in the league. So you're talking about all the football programs in college and 32 in the professional league. It's hard to say you're disappointed, and to be even considered for the opportunity is really a blessing, no matter how many times you have to do it. You may get frustrated a little and tired a little, and I expect Byron to get one. I expect Goody to get one. I expect a few people on the staff to have head coaching opportunities and head coaching jobs. So it's just staying with the process and staying in the moment and being the best coach you can be and let the opportunity take care of itself.
If you're wondering, the reason they did not have to go through a process of interviewing candidates via the Rooney Rule, and although Bowles is a minority, he's a black man, so they did hire a minority coach. If it's after a certain date, because the pool of candidates has shrunk, then you can bypass the Rooney Rule of the necessary interviews that have to take place. I didn't know that until I read about it with this. Just so rare that you see a situation that a coach was replaced this late in the process. So, I mean, here they are already past the combine and just a few weeks away from the NFL draft, and the league year's already begun. So that's why. Now, that's relevant here because the Bucs are in the Saints division, and you have some turnover there, and that obviously matters. It would be far greater news or far greater relevance when Tom Brady retired and then unretired, and certainly that mattered for win totals as well. Our friends at DraftKings have put out their projected win totals for the year, just so happened to be on this day, a day after the Bruce Arians news, and as we're now into the league year and free agency, and still looking ahead to the draft coming up next month. But Tampa Bay, the losing Bruce Arians, did absolutely nothing for their win total, good or bad. Tampa Bay is projected to win 11.5 games. That's their total. Over-under is 11.5. Same with the Buffalo Bills, and those two are the most in the NFL. So Bucs, Bills, over-under 11.5. Chiefs, Packers at 11. Rams, the defending champs, and Dallas, each at 10.5. Niners, Broncos with Russell Wilson, Bengals, the defending AFC champ, and the Chargers, all at 10 wins projected. So Bucs, Bills, Chiefs, Packers, Rams, Cowboys, Niners, Broncos, Bengals, Chargers. 10 teams, 10 NFL teams, they're projecting their win total double digits. And how about the AFC West? Oh, my God. Chiefs 11, Broncos 10, Chargers 10, and Raiders are at 8.5. I mean, all 4 teams in that division could be playoff teams. It's incredible. If you're wondering about the NFC South, we did mention this, the Bucs at 11.5. The rest of the division, not so great. The Saints are actually next at 7.5. So full 4 games behind Tampa. The Panthers at 6.5 and the Falcons at 5.5. As a matter of fact, only the Jets and the Texans are projected to win fewer games than Atlanta. The Jets at 5, the Texans at 4.5. The Browns, they did not give a projected win total because of the remaining uncertainty about Deshaun Watson. And you would assume if Watson is available for the Browns this season, they will be projected to win double digits as well. So it's kind of hard to put out a projected win total when there's one team that it's going to play 17 games. You don't have a projection on them. That will obviously impact other teams that they play, and it'll affect those win totals. The number for the Saints is probably going to catch a lot of people's eyes. So only the Saints are projected to win the same amount of games as the Bears, the Steelers, the Commanders, and the Seahawks. So that might be some perspective for you, not who is projected to win more or less, but they're basically saying we're thinking you're the same as Chicago with Justin Fields, the Steelers replacing Ben Roethlisberger, the Commanders, and then the Seahawks that just lost Russell Wilson. That's where they have the Saints. Now, yes, I am an impossible homer, but I try my best to be objective in commentary as often as I can be. I think that number is low for New Orleans. We've gone through this before. The Saints were a 9-win team a year ago. That was with Jameis only playing 7 games and you playing 10 games with the combination of Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, Ian Book. You had 4 of your 5 starters on the offensive line miss time throughout the year. You all know the story. There were COVID issues. There were travel issues with Hurricane Ida, being displaced the opening week. You all know, and you still won 9 games. How much of that is a hat tip to Sean Payton? I think that's what Vegas is weighing in here. They're telling you, I think, that the head coach losing Sean Payton for the Saints is far more significant than the Bucs losing Bruce Arians to retirement. So it's going to be on the Saints to see what else they can do to supplement this team. They got to find a left tackle. Obviously, they got to get an answer there. They need help at wide receiver, but they know that. Do they get it in the draft? Do they get it in free agency? Are they going to get more help at safety after Malcolm Jenkins' retirement? Maybe. But I don't hate the number as it stands right now. I think an 8-9 season puts you a game below 500, just on the opposite side of where you were a year ago. But I certainly think that they can be much better than that as well if Jameis is steady, if Mike Thomas is healthy, if you have the answer at left tackle, if Dennis Allen is ready to be a head coach again. There's a lot of those ifs, no doubt. And they very rarely all answer in the affirmative, but if enough of them do, you'll go over that number and put yourself in a good position to be a playoff team. The tough part is, based on these projections, the Saints are projected to be 9th in the NFC. So that would put you outside of the playoff picture in the NFC if it played out that way. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. theantiagingclinics.com. Feel like your younger self. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. theantiagingclinics.com. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We'll go to the Plains, talk to Lindsay Crosby next, covers Auburn for SI. He will join us to preview this Auburn team, tell us about LSU's opponent over the next 3 days. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling? Call Darren James. When Erica and I bought our first home, my first call was to Darren. We were looking for a home that was a great starter home. Within our budget, certain part of town, different criteria we were looking for. Darren found the perfect house for us. When Drew came along and we were looking to upsize, we needed to sell that home and find a new home. Darren did both. He was actually willing to go into the neighborhood where we wanted to live and canvass the entire neighborhood and knock on every door to say, are you willing to sell your home to my client? That's how far above and beyond Darren goes for his clients. As far as the home sale, he sold our home in one day. 335-7666, 335-7666. See, Darren has a glossary, an entire book of people looking to buy exactly what you're selling. So when your home goes on the market, boom, you have qualified buyers right away. 335-7666 or agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
LSU baseball Tigers back at the box. We're about 90 minutes away from first pitch. LSU Auburn game 1. Lindsay Crosby, good enough to join us, covers the Auburn Tigers for SI. Lindsay, we appreciate a couple of minutes. How are you? Hey, Lindsay, we appreciate a couple of minutes. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing really well. We appreciate the time. When I look at these two teams on paper, it looks very similar. Their records are almost identical. Offensively, their team batting average, ERA are almost identical. If I asked you to describe this Auburn Tiger team so far through 25 games or so, what would you say?
Take this LSU team, subtract out some of the home runs. Auburn's only got one guy over 5 home runs, so a lot of what they do offensively ends up being station to station. You know, try to put the ball in play, make the defense, field the ball and make good plays, and that's where they make their bread and butter. So if you have a lead offense, if you have a sound defense, you can beat this Auburn Tiger team.
Okay. Is that how Ole Miss did it the opening weekend?
Ole Miss did it the opening weekend because Auburn's defense, which has pretty much all season been great, kind of collapsed. They had 8 or 10 runs in that first game were guys who either were on base because of an error, a pass ball, or a wild pitch. And we see that. Auburn's number 1 in the SEC in wild pitches. And so they're vulnerable to mistakes. And then they rely on your team making mistakes to get their offense and to keep their pitching in games.
Let's talk a little bit about that Auburn pitching staff. It seems very similar to LSU in that they don't have a set Friday, Saturday, Sunday starters that they kind of piece it together. Let's start with tonight. What's Auburn's plan tonight against LSU?
So tonight's going to be Mason Barnett, and the thing about Mason Barnett is he's been one of those guys at Auburn for a while, has never really kind of put it together, and has looked really good this season, and it's something where we don't quite know where it came from. He's improved quite a bit and looks good. Left the game last week, got struck by a line drive in the temple, checked out okay. So we're excited to see him tonight. Good curveball, good fastball with good velo. Relies a lot on location and getting you to chase.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but last Friday they kind of passed the ball. It was like 3 straight guys that all went 3 innings. Is that the plan tonight? Are they hoping that it'll go deep into the ball game tonight?
Butch Thompson's been big on pass the baton to get it to the closer. And so what they do is they have 2 guys in the bullpen, 2 or 3 that they feel they can throw multiple innings. And if they have to, they will do that. Ideally, they want 6 from the starter. They want to be able to take Carson Skipper, give him 2, and then give it to Blake Burkhalter for the 9th. But if they have to, they'll throw a Jordan Armstrong. If they have to, they'll throw a Tommy Sheehan and give those guys bulk innings just to get it to the closer.
What is the weakness on the staff?
Weakness on the staff is nobody really has elite velo, and so they rely on you chasing pitches. They rely on you making contact but not getting good contact. And if you look, they're probably 2nd or 3rd in doubles allowed, and it's because they make mistakes. They'll leave a pitch up, or the slider won't break, and it gets hit. Butch Thompson's talked about that. He said most doubles are thrown, not hit, and it's back to our pitchers. And so the big thing there is they are vulnerable if you have a good hitter who can take advantage of a mistake and you get a good swing on the ball.
Lindsay's also the host of Locked On Farm, covers MLB prospects. Who's the best prospect, or who are the prospects on this staff?
So Trace Bright, the junior pitcher, is somebody that has played pretty well this season and is somebody that is going to get some attention, is going to get looked at. I'm personally a fan of Sonny DiChiara.
Okay.
Senior first baseman, leading the SEC in on-base percentage, and I'm worried that he's not going to get looked at in the draft due to his speed and due to his defensive limitations. He's a first baseman DH kind of guy. But we've seen, just based on SEC play alone, he can absolutely crush the ball. And when you're somebody who can bat 450, OPS of 1,500 in the SEC, that right there should be at least good enough to enter an MLB organization and have a chance to make a career out of it.
Lindsay Crosby is with us. Let's stick with the topic of Sonny DiChiara for a bit. Look, he's leading the SEC in basically every offensive category right now. Am I oversimplifying it to say as he goes, the Auburn offense goes?
As he goes, the Auburn offense goes, but really, as the guys right around him go, the Auburn offense goes. We've seen a lot, especially recently in the last 2 weeks, him getting intentionally walked. We've seen teams kind of pitching around him and avoiding him because they know there's not sufficient protection in the lineup. And so if he's on, and he's going to get his either way, but if the guys in front of him and behind him can get on, and if they can be consistent, that's where you're really looking for the offense to go.
Who else aside from DiChiara are the matchup problems for Blake Money tonight from LSU?
So Blake Rambush, the leadoff hitter for Auburn, is going to be a handful. He's in a 14-game hitting streak right now, and multi-hit games, and I think about 10 of those. He's very good at fouling off pitches, making you hit your spot. He can take a mistake and put it into a gap, take 2 bases. He's a threat on the base pass as well. He's somebody where getting the leadoff runner on in the inning, and especially at the very beginning of the game, is going to be important for Auburn, and something that Blake Money is going to have to be cognizant of as we go throughout the game.
What do you think about Money as a prospect, Lindsay?
So I want to see more from him. He's just a guy where we haven't seen enough, in my mind, to know exactly what he's going to be and what he can be going forward. He's got the height. He's got the build. I worry the arm slot's not entirely consistent, and I feel that his pitch mix, he doesn't properly utilize everything. He's been the ace for this team. He's looked like that, but I just want to see a little more consistency, and I want him to see him go deeper into games with a little better use of his entire arsenal.
What do you think about the LSU lineup as a whole? I mean, there's look, obviously we know guys like Jacob Berry and Dylan Cruz and Kay Doty and Trey Morgan. Like, these are guys that are going to be high draft picks when their time comes. But from what you've seen, how do you think this LSU lineup matches up against this Auburn pitching staff this weekend?
So the thing to me is this lineup has just so much depth. I feel like, and that's where Auburn's gotten in trouble in the past this season, is 2 outs, nobody on. That's the most dangerous time for a college pitcher, right? And there's nowhere in this LSU lineup where you can really stop and relax and take a breath. Everybody can hit the ball. Everybody can hit the ball hard, and everybody is a threat when they get on the base path. And so you just have to be fundamentally sound all the way through, and that's not something we've seen every Auburn pitcher be able to do.
LSU did have their hands full last week with Barco from Florida, who's a lefty. Now, granted, he's a pretty dominant guy. Any similarities with what they'll face tonight?
So there's a bit of similarity as far as what you're trying to do. Hunter Barco is really good at location, really good at where he wants to put the ball, setting you up with a fastball and getting you to chase on an off speed or a breaking pitch. And you'll see a lot of that tonight out of Hayden Mullins. The same idea, the same focus on the plan when pitching, but stylistically they do look a bit different. There's not a lot you can learn short of you're facing a good pitcher. You have to go out there. You have to hit your spots. You have to have elite pitch recognition and take advantage of mistakes.
Hey, before you go, since I got you here, I'll ask you about some of the guys on this team as prospects. Maybe as we get closer to draft time, you can come back and we can go deeper dive in that. But look, obviously Jacob Berry's a draft-eligible sophomore. What do you think about him and some of the other guys on this team that have caught your eye?
So, I mean, like you said, Jacob Berry's obviously the very first guy that you think of. But you could take half a dozen guys off of this team and you could put them in your organization and be happy offensively with what you get. I absolutely feel that you've got hitters in this team. You've got pitchers on this squad. And LSU is very much a place where scouts make a point to go through consistently because they want to see a lot of these prospects. Just everybody who comes out of LSU can hit. Pitchers are fully developed as far as their tools, their weapons, and just absolutely stacked roster.
He is Lindsay Crosby for SI Auburn, also the Locked On Farm podcast. Make sure you subscribe up if you want daily content on MLB prospects. Great way to go get it there. Lindsay, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the ball this weekend.
Thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. Interesting there, a really good perspective, guy, and I like that perspective because that's a guy that covers when you're covering the MLB draft and you're looking at prospects, you're not just solely deep on one team. You have a great perspective on a lot of different teams there. Some really good perspective there from Lindsay Crosby. I'm trying to think if there's one big giant takeaway I had there. It's probably the fact that Butch Thompson wants to just kind of pass the ball to the next guy as a pitching guy. And it's not like you're going to face that one guy like you did last weekend in Barco, which gave LSU so much trouble and they just couldn't break through against him. I kind of feel like, and maybe this is completely wrong. And we'll see if it plays out tonight or this weekend. But with this lineup, as dangerous as LSU is, the more times you hand the ball to the next guy, it takes one guy to falter. One guy doesn't get his job done, then that's your opportunity for the crooked number. So I'll be curious to see it tonight. Sonny DeShera is going to be funny to watch, though, man. Well, not funny if he's hitting yaks, but like when Wes Ray and Sykes Orvis and those guys would roll through here, I'd imagine the fans down the first baseline might be giving them a little bit of the business. If you're going to the box, make sure that you do, by the way, if you're sitting down that way. All right, it's after further review. Tigers, an hour and 15 minutes from right now. First pitch, you can hear it on Eagle 98.1. Of course, you can watch it on the SEC Network. It is on SEC Plus, but also on the SEC Network tonight. So it's on linear TV. If you have cable, you can watch it on the SEC Network. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. We'll get to that and wrap up hour number 2 next on AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. I love reading reviews. This one came in. It said, call River City and ask for Jason Mallett. He's professional, patient, knowledgeable, and a kind person. He did not lay on pressure to purchase service or equipment. However, Jason explained how equipment functions, how long it can reasonably function, how to best maintain it all. Repairs were done quickly. He even added equipment I had been hoping to use to enhance my HVAC. It is also clear that the office staff has hired the best. That's a real-life 5-star Google review at River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001. More 5-star reviews than any other company because they've been doing it for 40 years, better than anyone. That's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hey, look what I found! The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport. I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why. Have you found yours?
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, online theantiagingclinics.com. Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Start it once again with some NFL free agent news. On Wednesday, Patrick Peterson announced on All Things Covered, that's the podcast he hosts with Bryant McFadden, that he will be re-signing with the Minnesota Vikings on a one-year contract. This will be Peterson's 11th season in the NFL. He has stated that he has a goal to play 15 seasons before considering retirement.
I don't think he's going to make it.
Last year, played in 13 games, ended up with 66. I'm sorry, that's the yards he returned that interception for. His tackles were 45 tackles and the pick 6 for Patrick Peterson. Terms of the deal, not yet known.
15 years, huh?
15 years, that's the goal.
I mean, good luck to him.
That's a long time to play the foosball.
Great former Tiger. I don't know that 4 more years are in the cards. Wish him well, though.
Alex Lang and the Detroit Tigers, they fell earlier today, but Lang turned in a shutout, perfect inning, shutout baseball, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts against the Blue Jays.
Atta boy, Langer.
ERA sits at 6 right now for the spring.
Not so great, Langer.
It's all right. Look, he's going to be back up for the show this year at some point. We all know that. Made it up there last year. He'll be back. He'll be back. NBA G League action last night. The Agua Caliente Clippers victorious over the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Emmett Williams turned in 19 minutes, 4 of 6 from the floor, 14 points, 4 rebounds, stole the ball twice, blocked 3 shots, did Emmett. 2 of 3 from behind the arc. Emmett starting to stretch the floor a little bit. That's wasn't really part of his game at LSU, but look, you get to the next level, and they want guys that can shoot the 3. Naz Reid and the Minnesota Timberwolves, they fell last night to the Toronto Raptors. 19 minutes for Naz, 3 of 7 from the floor. Turned in 9 points, added 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 2 steals. Stuff stat sheet last night for Naz. NBA action tonight. 100%. Would have had a double-double. Guaranteed. Wouldn't have gone 0 for 3 from behind the arc like he did last night either. NBA action tonight. The Brooklyn Nets, they host the Milwaukee Bucks. Cam Thomas good to go after missing some time with an injury in that one. Ben Simmons, however, is out once again for the Nets. Yes.
Got it.
It's not playing yet. The Atlanta Hawks, they will host the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Skylar Mays, who's been dealing with an injury, is listed as probable tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. So maybe a little bit of Skylar Mays action as well.
Let's go.
That's Tigers in the pros.
Big bad sky guy. That's what we call him.
Who? You and who? Who is we?
All of us that know him so well.
No.
And have for years.
I don't think anyone has ever called him Big Bad Sky Guy.
I just did.
Before that.
I have. Like I call Terrio Big Bad Rye Guy.
No, see, yeah, but I've heard that one. I mean, and you've never said that.
When have you and I hung out together with Skylar Mays?
When have you hung out with Skylar Mays?
All the time.
No.
He's from Baton Rouge.
Prove it. Not that he's from Baton Rouge.
You take pictures with everyone you hang out with all the time? Just keep them on the Rolodex on your phone?
I mean, to commemorate occasions, you would normally take pictures of certain things. Yeah, sure.
So who were you hanging out with last weekend?
I actually didn't do anything last weekend.
Oh, shocker.
I sat in the chair, watched basketball and baseball.
Did you take pictures of yourself in the chair to commemorate the occasion? Didn't think so. Brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged. Go to the website. You can find the location near you. You can learn more about their diamond guarantee. You can learn more about the replacement guarantee. Why shopping at Lee Michaels is an incredible experience no matter your budget. Don't be intimidated. Get it, guys. But listen, you're going to buy her that ring. It's going to last a lifetime, and they guarantee it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it's after further review. Kim Mulkey today was named National Coach of the Year. Congrats to Kim Mulkey, apparently the second best coach in the Southeastern Conference, but the best coach in the country. Makes sense of that, SEC coaches, if you would. But we are expected to be joined by Coach Mulkey at some point in the 5 o'clock hour. We're hoping, I should say, to be joined by Coach Mulkey at some point in the 5 o'clock hour as she had a press conference in Minneapolis where they host the Women's Final Four, and we're hoping that we can get her before she jumps back on the plane to congratulate her. Bit of news here. Jeff Borzello reporting, among others, that LSU freshman Efton Reed has entered the transfer portal, former five-star prospect, of course, who played this past season at LSU. So there are only 3 players left, scholarship players left, that have yet to declare their intention. The LSU roster continues to get whittled down. All right, Hour 3 is coming up right after SportsCenter. Don't you move.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service, and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Go to the website, ShawbillsTire.com. If you need auto service, you need the oil change, the tires rotated, the check engine light is on, something on the dash is on, and you're not sure what it is, don't worry. They know it's Shawbills. They have that level of expertise, and they treat you like family because they've been doing it for more than 50 years. They've remained locally owned and operated. They've continued to grow to 17 locations now, the newest location in Denham Springs. So if you're out there in Livingston, you've got your own Shawbills there as well. And remember, the Shawbills on Coursey, because so many people coming in from that sort of I-12 corridor would go to the Shawbills on corridor. Now that there's a Shawbills in Denham, it's easier, I should say, to get into that Shawbills on Coursey. So go schedule your service right now at ShawbillsTire.com or shop tires at ShawbillsTire.com. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. 8-time Pro Bowl linebacker Bobby Wagner signs with the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Wagner will get a 5-year, $50 million contract that could be worth up to $65 million. Wagner was born in L.A. and went to high school just east of the city. Now that Todd Bowles is the new head coach of the Buccaneers, how will that affect quarterback Tom Brady? ESPN's Teddy Bruschi.
The way that Tom Brady prefers is the structured disciplinarian type of approach, not maybe over the top that it was maybe in New England, but just more of a structured disciplinarian approach that possibly, and most definitely, Todd Bowles can probably do a little bit more structured than Bruce Arians.
Teddy Bruschi on Key J and Max. The Lakers play the Jazz tonight. They'll be without both LeBron James and Anthony Davis again with a sprained ankle and sprained foot, respectively. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports James hopes to play tomorrow night against the Pelicans. Davis could be a game-time decision. Xavier and Texas A&M for the NIT title tonight, 7 Eastern, ESPN.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Temple. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. We are 1 hour away from first pitch. LSU and Auburn from the box. Once the lineup's posted, we'll delve into that a bit later this hour. We are hoping to be joined by Kim Mulkey at some point this hour. If you missed the news earlier today, a great day for LSU Lady Tigers basketball. A great day for Kim Mulkey, a great day for the state of Louisiana. Kim Mulkey has been named the Associated Press National Coach of the Year. Kind of got a heads up on this earlier today. So Kim Mulkey flew up to the Twin Cities where the Women's Final Four is going to be held. She was named National Coach of the Year. Aaliyah Boston of South Carolina named National Player of the Year. There was a press conference earlier, about 45 minutes ago or so. And Coach Mulkey, we're hoping, is going to be able to join us at some point here in this hour. Kind of depends on how quickly they're able to maybe whisk her away from that and maybe catch up with us on our way back to the airport. So in any event, congrats to Coach Mulkey. I'll say it again. It's a huge embarrassment to the coaches of the Southeastern Conference. Not in any way to discredit Dawn Staley and the job that she did, but to not vote Kim Mulkey SEC Coach of the Year it's only underscored how petty that was by the rest of the coaches in the league. To have been embarrassed by a Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore type coach coming to their league year one and just wrecking things like Kim Mulkey did. But a much-deserved honor. Congrats to Coach Mulkey, and looking forward to many more. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us. The Saints on Thursday introduced Andy Dalton. And you might remember when Andy Dalton signed with the Bears a year ago, the Bears kind of infamously now put out that tweet that said QB1. They had essentially ordained Andy Dalton their starter. And they had Nick Foles there, but then they would go on to draft Justin Fields. And so they kind of had to walk that back, the QB1 thing, and Andy Dalton pushed back on people who even questioned it, and we all saw, of course, what happened. Ultimately, he did lose his job this year, and it was not a great year in Chicago. There is no such ambiguity here. Andy Dalton, when he met with the media today, when he was asked about Jameis Winston and his role there, made it very clear why he's here.
No, this is Jameis's thing, and I'm here to help him out in any way that I can. So I'm excited to work with him, excited to be in the same room and see everything I can do to help him out to make him the best player that he can be.
This is Jameis's thing. I'm here to help him out however I can. There is no question. Remember, a year ago, there was a competition, real, feigned, whatever it may be, with Taysom and Jameis, where they were going through the offseason. Even the preseason, remember, Taysom Hill started the first preseason game, and the Saints only played 2 preseason games because of Ida. So Taysom started one, Jameis started one. I mean, they were splitting reps. Not this year. You were going into this offseason knowing Jameis is your guy. Andy Dalton's there as a guy who's thrown for 35,000 yards in his career, an experienced veteran to be there for Jameis to lean on. And in case if you need a guy to get in there and start in a pinch, Andy can do it and should be able to do it pretty seamlessly. And he was asked about his experience and the role that his experience can help this team.
I've had a ton of experience and been around the game for a long time. And I think when it comes down to the preparation of everything, I may have some ideas that they may look at. I may have some questions that, I can bring up to hopefully start conversations that can make sure everybody's on the same page and everything. So I think there's things I can do. And also when it comes to practice and the scout team, it's I feel like my whole goal is going to be out there to try to do everything I can to complete a bunch of balls in practice. So, I'm like I said, I feel like my experience will bring a lot.
This guy who understands his role, and I appreciate that. Hearing him talk, it reminds me a lot of when Mark Brunell was Drew Brees' backup. Mark Brunell was a longtime starter in the league. He had taken the Jags to an AFC championship game in their second year in existence. And I can still see how many times when Drew Brees would come to the sideline and he's sitting on the bench, and he's looking at the still shots before everyone had the surface. He's looking at the still shots, the freeze frames of all the plays, and Mark Brunell was sitting right next to him. Just another veteran set of eyes who's seen everything this league has to offer to lend assistance in game. I think that's going to be Andy Dalton's biggest asset on this team. Now, it's also a question of, okay, well, why New Orleans? If you're Andy Dalton and you've been a starter throughout your career, why not look for that next opportunity to be a starter? Here was Andy on why the Saints were appealing.
For me, and especially at this point in my career, you want to be part of a good organization and a good team. And that's one thing that New Orleans checks both those boxes. And so, I'm excited about the opportunity here, excited to be part of this and continue to build on what this team's done.
It is so interesting, man. Obviously, over the last 15 years, there's just been unprecedented success in New Orleans. But to continuously hear people refer to New Orleans as a good organization, a winning organization, a championship organization, they've earned that now. They've earned that reputation, but it just wasn't always that way. Clearly, it is now. One more from Dalton on the Saints organization as a whole.
Having a couple conversations with a couple coaches and everything, this organization, from everything that I've been told and everything that I've seen from afar, just does everything the right way and gives the players and coaches and everybody within the organization everything that they need to be successful. You've seen the success that this team has had for a long time. I've obviously followed Drew's career here and everything that they were able to do offensively and everything. And so when you just look at it, you see a class organization that does things the right way, and it's something that you want to be part of.
So they've answered the backup quarterback question now with Andy Dalton. Of course, your starter is Jameis Winston, and that's no longer even a question or in doubt. How they fill in left tackle, what do they do at safety? We've already heard Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen both say that they still have to address the receiver position. Those are going to be very interesting questions moving forward. The draft is a month away, and I am so interested, always in the draft, but to see how this plays out. But typically as you get closer to the draft, as the combine is come and gone, as you've had pro days, etc., there are certain things that become clear. What position or player a certain team may covet. If there's a no doubt at number one overall, sometimes the team makes it known that they're going to draft that player. They can even start working out a contract with that player's agent, sort of thing. Something that we're starting to see a good bit pick up is Kenny Pickett to the Panthers. And a USA Today mock draft had that today. Mike Tannenbaum, former GM of the Jets, who now is on ESPN, put out a mock draft where they each had Kenny Pickett 6th overall to Carolina. That's obviously of great importance here because the Panthers are in the Saints division. But they also, both of those mock drafts that I referenced, mentioned Trevor Penning, the offensive tackle from Northern Iowa, going to New Orleans at 18 overall. And the need at left tackle became very obvious after Teron Armstead left for Miami. The question is if Trevor Penning will be on the board at 18 when the Saints pick. And do they value him as the best player available at 18 if he is there? Do they go offensive tackle instead of receiver? Or do they flip Ramczyk to left tackle? Are they content with Hurst at left tackle with Andrus Peat coming back healthy, who has played left tackle in his career as well, was a left tackle in college and has been the backup left tackle in New Orleans. That's going to be fascinating to watch it play out. As you continue to... The question marks the Saints still have are obvious. We mentioned safety with Malcolm Jenkins retiring, left tackle with Teron Armstead going to Miami. You still need help at number 2 receiver. I mean, there's spots you need help. How you fill in those blanks will be very interesting. I would be very okay. I'd be good with Trevor Penning at 18 if he's there. If you feel like you get a franchise left tackle at number 18, a guy that went and blew up the combine, ran the 5th fastest 10-yard split in the 40 among linemen, despite weighing 325 pounds. Give me that athletic dude with a mean, nasty streak. You go watch some of the video of Trevor Penning at practices from the Senior Bowl. Dude, he was pissing off a lot of them defensive linemen because he was getting nasty at practice. Like, give me that dude. A big, mean dude at left tackle. Heck yeah. I would take that in a heartbeat. So, something worth keeping an eye on as we move closer to the draft as well. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll knock out a quick break, and we will continue. It's AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. A lot of people, when Hurricane Ida rolled through here, maybe filed an insurance claim and either didn't have their claim approved or realized their deductible was so large that it didn't even make it cost effective. Paying a low price isn't always great if you don't have great coverage. At Insurance Network of Louisiana, they shop independently for free, not only to find you the cheapest price, but to find you the best coverage for the cheapest price. Better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450. There is no catch. It's not a gag. There's no strings attached. They shop independently for free to find you better coverage for less money. If they can't save you money and get you better coverage, then you just stick with what you got. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450. Call today or start online at lainsurance.net. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed.
Time for myself.
We found our why.
Have you found yours?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A couple of housekeeping things. Tomorrow, we will be live at the Coterie in New Orleans. So both Friday and Monday, Off the Bench and AFR will be live in the French Quarter at the Coterie on Decatur. Come on out and join us. It's a pretty cool place, man, right there in the French Quarter. And there's like a third-part overflow bar of restaurant where we have access to all of it. So if you want to come and hang out, come eat some food, come grab some cocktails, drink, pass in and out. It'll be open. Totally welcome to come hang out with us. Watch the show, listen to the show, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. OTB and AFR tomorrow and Monday, a sandwich around the Final Four. We will be live at the Coterie in the French Quarter. So looking forward to that. We appreciate them for hosting us, and we're looking forward to being down in the French Quarter. And hopefully it's just a couple of gorgeous days in the city as leads to what should be an outstanding Final Four for Blue Bloods. I mean, when you look at the secondary market prices for this Final Four, it's outrageous. I mean, the get-in price, you're talking about around $1,000 in secondary market. It's just when I went to and I was reminded of this. So I went to I think I mentioned this earlier in the week. I went to the Final Four in 2003. I went to the championship game when Syracuse played Kansas. That was Carmelo and that Syracuse team against Kansas, it was Roy Williams' last game at Kansas before he took the North Carolina job, and ended up being a great game. But I think my buddy and I went down to New Orleans, just scalped some tickets off the street for like $50. We were in the upper level of the dome, but I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, we're in the championship game for $50. It just, now it's 20 years ago, but it also puts some perspective on what's going to happen this weekend, especially on Saturday, where you're going to have Kansas Villanova, two Blue Bloods of the sport, and then maybe the two of the 4 or 5 most recognizable brands in all of college basketball, Duke, North Carolina, arguably the greatest rivalry in all of college sports, and meeting for the first time in the tournament's history. And then which happens to be Mike Krzyzewski's final season, you can't write it any better. And New Orleans is going to be the beneficiary. It's going to be an amazing commercial for the city of New Orleans, for the state of Louisiana, for the region, having this event in New Orleans over those 2 days, Saturday and then Monday. I know a lot of people don't like to pull for Duke. I'm absolutely pulling for Duke. I think it would be a magnificent footnote in history. for Mike Krzyzewski to be able to go out a national champion, to do it in New Orleans, to beat North Carolina, then maybe Kansas in the championship game, which is what I think is going to. I think we'll have a Duke-Kansas championship game, and I do think Duke wins it. So I would love to see it. I think that would be just amazing theater, and I'm hoping for a couple of great games on Saturday. So we'll be there again tomorrow and Monday. Looking forward to having you come out and hang out with us. Also this weekend, I am obligated. Otherwise, the door to my household might be locked when I get home. The St. Jude Parish Fair is this weekend as well. My wife works at St. Jude School, so the school church fair is this weekend. You go on Muse?
No, but I used to love the fairs, man.
Well, if you love carnies and things like funnel cakes.
So good. Funnel cakes are awesome.
And little games like where you
ring toss.
The ring toss. You squirt the little water into the little target, and you think it goes up the dealie, and you win a stuffed animal. You spend $45 to win a stuffed animal.
Of course.
This is your event. But they'll also have adult beverages and food and all that stuff. St. Jude's at the corner of Highland and Gardeer, right there on their campus. All the fair rides and everything. So it'll be it's always a fun weekend, and of course it benefits the church and the school. So they've done a lot for us and our family. My wife's worked there for 20 years and or almost 20 years. Bro, she's getting old. E-Rock's getting old, bro. She's been working there 20 years almost. Bro, look at your face. You're not going to say anything? You're going to leave me out here to die on this hill?
I want no part of that.
You're going to leave me out here to die on this hill,
I like E-Rock. She's been nothing but nice to me, so I want no part of that.
E-Rock's getting old, huh? Not even Paul. A2, Paulie? A2? All right. Come to the St. Jude Fair. I'll be there Saturday noonish. If anybody's there, I'll let you buy me a beer. Or a funnel cake. Why are you laughing? Some jambalaya.
Oh, it's good too.
Fried fish.
Like, come buy me a beer.
Yeah, come buy me a beer. What?
You're not going to buy a round?
No. Why would I do that?
Why would they come buy you one?
I don't know. People want to buy me beers. You know how many times people just give me whiskey? People give me bottles of whiskey all the time. I'm super grateful, by the way. I'm not complaining in any way. So someone wants to come buy me beer. Glenn tried to buy me lunch.
Oh, God.
Poor Glenn.
Poor Glenn.
I'm telling you. You had the poor Glenn drop?
Not handy.
No.
It got demoted off the button bar when we stopped using it.
It needs to come back. See, those are the things that
I only have so much room.
Create more room. You could do 1,000 pages of button bars. I've sat there. I've seen you could do pages and pages and pages.
But that makes it just delayed because I have to switch through pages. Then you're going to be max. It's delayed. So I mean, It's
better than this.
Poor Glenn.
You're just going to do the process.
It's not that hard. You do generic, awful Will Ferrell Southern accent and say poor Glenn.
Poor Glenn.
There you go. You got it.
Oh, man. All right, LSU baseball, the lineup is out for LSU and Auburn. Admittedly, I'm a little bit between a rock and a hard place because we might have Coach Mulkey here before we get out of here. So I'm trying to make sure that I wanted to go to the LSU Auburn lineup in the next segment. So you know what? Let me just do that now. And if we get Coach Mulkey in the next segment, great. If we don't, no biggie. So I don't anticipate that you would expect any surprises in this lineup, considering the way that LSU has been out there and has been swinging it of late. So tonight, LSU is going to line it up the way that that they've been. There's one switch, however. Gio is going to go to the 9 hole. So it'll be Doty playing short, of course, and leading off. Trey Morgan will bat second and play first base. Dylan Cruz will play center and bat third. Jacob Berry will play third and bat cleanup. Jordan Thompson's there on the 5 hole. Braden Joubert follows him. He'll DH and bat 6th. And then the bottom third of the lineup, Gavin Dugas in left. Hayden Travinsky will bat 8th and catch tonight. And then Gio will play right and will bat 9th. I like it. You have a really good and I know that Jay Johnson's talked about it as well, that when you flip the lineup over to have the opportunity to go lefty-righty, or if you bring in a pitcher specifically to get one out, to go lefty-lefty or righty-righty, whatever it may be, you better get that out, because if you set your lineup such that you're alternating lefty-righty, you're going to lose that advantage. So when you look at it, if you go Gio in the 9 hole and then you turn it over to Doty at the top of the order, you're going Gio from the left side, Doty from the right, Morgan from the left, Cruz from the right, Barry can switch hit. So essentially, at any point in that lineup, if you bring in someone for a matchup to go lefty, lefty, righty, righty, whatever it may be, you better get that out because the next guy coming up, you no longer have that advantage. So I like the way that this lineup looks. I mean, even through to Joe Bear, who's a lefty, and then Dugas, who's a righty. So I like the way this lineup sets up. I like what Jay Johnson did. Not that he's asking my approval or anything like that, but I do like this lineup an awful lot. This is, I think, your best bet. I think Travinsky has been a better defensive option at catcher than McManus until Milazzo comes back. And while he might go 1 for 4 in the game, if the 1 changes the scoreboard, I'm fine with it. That's kind of what pro ball has become anyway. You can go 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. If the 1's a 2-run homer, you take it. So, yeah, that's how LSU will line it up tonight against Auburn. They will face a lefty from Auburn, and Blake Money will be on the bump for the Tigers tonight. We'll see how deep Blake Money might be able to go into this ball game. It's Blake Money started this season looking every bit an SEC ace. And he had the wrist injury where he left the game. It looked way worse clearly than it was, but he had the wrist injury, came back, couldn't get out of the fourth the following week against A&M. And then, last week got roughed up a little bit in the Florida game as well. And I say that understanding that Florida scored 7 runs in that game on Friday last week, but scored 7 runs on just 7 hits. So it's not like Florida mashed the ball all over the yard. They were just opportunistic, and LSU defensively last Friday was atrocious. That's when they dropped a couple of pop-ups. I mean, it was bad. I mean, that really was the turning point moment, I think, for this team where, yesterday Gavin Dugas was with us, and he talked about how Alex Milazzo met with the team during stretch on Saturday and kind of rallied everyone. I know there's more to it, and there's a lot of conversations out there about other conversations internally that were had between coaches and players, but it's just very clear that something changed last Saturday. The whole mood and vibe of this entire team, the entire program changed on Saturday, and it wasn't like something good happened for it to change. Something very bad happened on Friday, but when they showed up to the yard Saturday, it was different, and they responded from the Doty single and then the Doty walk and then the Morgan 2-run homer to get things rolling last Saturday, and they have not looked back since. And hopefully they can keep that going on. I do believe that this is going to be a weekend where LSU is going to have to pound the baseball. And Sonny DeShera from Auburn is a big bat that you're going to have to look out for. He swings it from the right side. He's 265 pounds. He leads. You'll see him, but he leads the SEC in batting average and slugging and on base percentage. I mean, he's a problem. So, our guest who was with us last hour, Lindsay Crosby, who covers Auburn for SI, said, listen, I mean, it's, DeShera kind of gets his, but it's really more about the guys who bat around him, because those are the guys that are going to have the opportunity to really swing the bat and get pitches to hit, because DeShera's not going to get much unless you miss with one over the plate. So, first pitch is here in 32 minutes from right now. Blake Money on the bunt for the Tigers. Hopefully he can go deep into this ball game. Like we've seen, it's been Bryce Collins following Blake Money. Maybe if the combination of Collins or Money and Collins can get you through this ball game, set up your staff for the rest of the weekend. It would look really good for LSU to maybe take 2 out of 3 this weekend. Put yourself above 500 in conference play for what's coming the next 2 weeks, which is road trips to Mississippi State and Arkansas. So I would look at those next 2 weeks, and I would think very highly if LSU could come out of those 6 games 3-3. If you go 2 State, 2 Arkansas, and you come out of that 3-3, I think you're in a great spot, which is why getting a series win this week, keeping yourself above 500 in conference play going into these next 2 weeks is so important. So go find a way to take 2 out of 3 this weekend against Auburn. Put yourself above 500. Put yourself a couple games above 500. And then go into the most brutal 2-week stretch, back-to-back stretch of your season, which is coming up in the next 2 weeks. So LSU and Auburn, 6 o'clock first pitch. We're 30 minutes away from Tigers and Tigers from the box. You can hear it on Eagle 98.1, and you can see it on the SEC network. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We'll knock out a quick break. We will come back and continue. Pels got a win last night. An update on AD and LeBron, as the Pels are going to be in L.A. for 5 days. They'll have the Lakers and the Clippers while they're out there on this West Coast swing. Huge opportunity for the Pels here as they're coming down the stretch of the season. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Of course, if you need a place to watch LSU and Auburn tonight or at all this weekend, you can always get by Pluckers. Matter of fact, last night I had dinner at Pluckers. I was leaving the station. All that bad weather had come through. Power was out at my house, so I didn't go home. I went to Pluckers. They had power at Blue Bonnet, so I sat at the bar, had a cold beer, was able to, had 10 wings, had to try some new appetizers as well. It's always a great night to get by Pluckers. Look, tonight and every Thursday is all-you-can-eat Buffalo Bites, boneless Buffalo Bites. So you've got LSU baseball tonight, starting at 6. You've got a full slate of NBA games. You've got the NIT championship if you want to watch the Texas A&M Aggies try to win nothing of consequence. You could do it all at Pluckers. Eat late all night long for one low price. All-you-can-eat boneless Buffalo Bites every single Thursday at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Blue Bonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery via Uber Eats and DoorDash. It's Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A little bit of a newsy day here If you haven't heard, we'll get you caught up. Kim Mulkey, of course, was named the AP National Coach of the Year. She hopped on a jet earlier today for a press conference in Minneapolis, so congrats to Coach Mulkey. Another of the LSU basketball players has hit the portal, former five-star center Efton Reed. He is now in the transfer portal, which means there are only 3 players, scholarship players, remaining from this last year's team that have yet to declare their intentions. We're still waiting on decisions from Gaines, Fudge, and Imwani Wilkinson. Everybody else is either to the draft or to the portal. So Efton Reed is the latest there. That's a big loss, man. I know Efton took his criticism this year from a lot of people, but I will maintain that Efton Reed is on this LSU team the best, and well, aside from Tari Eason, who's going to be a first-round rounder. But I think Efton Reed is the best NBA prospect. He's an NBA skill set, an NBA body, and he's going to play in the league for a long time. With Efton Reed out, the Tigers did pick up a commitment from a 6'10 center, Cornelius Williams. He is a 3-star who had been committed to Murray State. He has now flipped from Murray State to LSU, so he'll stick with Matt McMahon, and he'll be an LSU Tiger. So congrats to Cornelius Williams as Matt McMahon starts to build up this roster, as you know, basically everybody that was a part of the roster under Will Wade is now either off to the NBA or into the transfer portal. So busy day for busy news day in these parts. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Pels did get a win last night. Man, that was a lot of fun to watch as New Orleans, boy, they struggled early in the ball game, but managed to make the plays late to go to Portland and win it. C.J. McCollum, after the game, talked about going back to the place where he played for so many years and had such a great start to his career. You don't have CJ. Okay, give me a Willie Green on the win.
We just had to pick up our sense of urgency, and the guys understand. Portland, they play hard. A lot of guys on their team are trying to earn an opportunity in the NBA, and those guys, they're not giving you anything for free. They go out, they play hard, they rebound the ball, they play together, and the important thing for us was just to win the game.
And they did. So when you look at what that means for standings, and we're continuing to follow this for all the reasons we've talked about, which are relevant, the Pels are still in the 9 seed now. They are a game and a half ahead of the Lakers, which moved back into the 10 last night. So the Spurs are now a half game behind Los Angeles. So the Pels in the 9, the Lakers in the 10. And the Pels and Lakers do play tomorrow night. So it's a back-to-back for Los Angeles. The Lakers play tonight on their home floor, and then they'll play again tomorrow against the Pelicans. They play tonight in Utah. Correction. So the Lakers tonight play in Utah against the Jazz. That is a national TNT game. So they'll play tonight in Utah. They'll fly home and then play the Pelicans tomorrow at Crypto.com Arena. LeBron is not with the team tonight, so no LeBron, no AD tonight against the Jazz. So you can basically just chalk that up as an L for the Lakers in Utah. Woj did tweet earlier today that Anthony Davis, who's been out since February 16th with a foot sprain, he's a game-time decision against New Orleans on Friday, but they're expecting him to play. LeBron is hopeful to test out that ankle sprain to try to return to the lineup on Friday as well against New Orleans. Woj also notes that LeBron left to L.A. to rehab midweek. They both are out against Utah. The Lakers half game ahead of the Spurs for the final play-in spot, and they're trailing the Pelicans for 9th by a game and a half. So you look at it right now, and you're talking about a massive game tomorrow for Los Angeles, and they know it. The Lakers know that it's an opportunity to make up a full game on New Orleans if they can win it on their home floor. So they're almost essentially punting tonight against Utah, realizing the importance of tomorrow because they can make up a full game tomorrow if they beat the Pelicans. Meanwhile, the Pelicans traveled yesterday or last night, and then they got to L.A. today. They've got essentially a rest day in L.A., and they'll play tomorrow night in Los Angeles. So big opportunity for the Pelicans tomorrow against the Lakers, and then they'll stay out in L.A. for 5 days, arriving today because they'll play Sunday against the Clippers at Crypto.com Arena as well. But it's after further review, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. Remember, if you're in the market for a new vehicle and you've never thought about Volkswagen, test drive one today. Airline just north of Highland. They're online at southpointvw.com. They are magnificent at what they do. And you've got a great selection at South Point Volkswagen. And if you're not looking for a new vehicle, you can always shop their certified pre-owned lot as well. You can shop the used car lots, but remember, all certified pre-owned vehicles at South Point Volkswagen are they come with an extended warranty, and you know you're driving a great vehicle. It's at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? I often say here that officials in all sports are terrible at what they do, and we got an example of that last night, actually twice over. The Nuggets were playing the Pacers, and Austin Rivers threw a malicious elbow in the face of Lance Stevenson. He actually didn't even touch him. If you're watching, there's video of it. But Stevenson basically flopped. Austin Rivers didn't touch him. And Austin Rivers got thrown out of the game. It's one of the most awful, egregious calls ever. They actually did review it. The Tony Brothers, did you know they reviewed it? Tony Brothers.
Figured they had to if they threw him out of the game. It's just.
Tony Brothers, the official, called it a, quote, malicious act. Even in super slow-mo, you could see Austin Rivers did not make contact with Lance Stevenson. He moved his arm in that direction like a ball fake, never made contact. Stevenson threw his head back, and they threw Austin Rivers out of the game. There was no contact made. I'm flabbergasted, but I'm not surprised because that's the nature of sports today. As I've said over and over again, all officials in every sport are bad at their job. Now, those are professional officials in a professional sport. What happened to Derek Fabian of Florida against Florida State 2 nights ago is maybe equally as stunning and stunningly bad. I'm trying to find the video of it. Here it is. No, that's not it. Derek Fabian got thrown out of the game for Florida again. I'm sorry, he didn't get thrown. He got called out on an 0-2 count because he stepped out of the box multiple times, and so the umpire ruled him out. Yes, there was an 0-2 count. I got to find this video. My bad. I'm short on time now.
Wait a minute. Did he ask for time or he just stepped out?
Did not ask for time. Stepped out. Umpire said, I'd warned you several times not to step out of the box, so he stepped out and they ruled him out.
That's stupid.
I was talking to Terry about it earlier today. Yeah, here it is. And he said, well, if you've gotten a warning several times or whatever, I still am not okay with it in any way. But here's the video of it. Scott Klein calls Derek Fabian out. So it's an 0-2 count. Fabian's in the batter's box. Pitch comes in. He steps out, does his just sort of routine, right? Swinging the bat, whatever. And the ump just calls him out. I've never quite seen anything like this. And I can't understand why any umpire would have such an egregious abuse of power. Like, yes, you're there to manage the game and to make sure that you flow and function on time, but you're literally affecting the game at this point.
So it wasn't even mid-pitch. That's kind of what I thought. It was after the pitch. He was just doing what literally every batter in the game of baseball does.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's stupid.
Well, this video doesn't have the replay. Yeah, I'm trying to find the video. I'm sorry. I know this is terrible radio if you're listening. We're going to go and get to Otter Locks. But, yeah, essentially, Derek Fabian just stepped out of the box, and because he did not call for time, it was an 0-2 count. Because he did not call for time, the umpire called him out. Just flat called him out. every official, umpire, referee in every sport, you're bad at your job. Further evidence. It doesn't matter if it's college baseball, if it's the NBA, high school, or whatever. You are bad at your job. It's impossible to be good, but some are clearly more egregious than others. All right, it's after further review. Let's grab a quick break. Auto Lock's next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Weather is absolutely gorgeous right now. Of course, it was bad yesterday, but stunning today and should be for the remainder of this week. So it's a great time to get by Clegg's, to get in your garden, to just plant something. Add that pop of color to the garden, to the flower bed. You know what to do. And remember, any products or that you may need, not only to beautify your lawn, anything you may need as far as tools, they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So whatever you get at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So if you need your garden tools, if you need rakes, or if you need shovels, if you need weed killer or sprayers, they've got all of that at Clegg's Nursery. Anything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, and great outside decor as well. If it's wind chimes or other decorative items for your back patio or your outdoor spaces, Clegg's has got you covered. Buy local, shop local. Be sure to tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth a short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good. Open air, packed house, and a patio on a beautiful day
I love
at
it.
Superior Grill on Highland Road.
Hell yeah! That's what I like to hear. Let's go. Let's go. And by the way, it is a Thursday, so do we have Colucci?
When I don't hear from him at ample time, about 5 o'clock, I text him, early. Don't forget the early picks. I said, do you have any today? And he does not have any today.
Okay.
I think he feels worse than anybody, going a little 0-2 on Tuesday. So he's coming on at 6:30. And now they do have some really obnoxious lines on some of the early games. The NHL has had a lot of like $4, $5 money lines, but they do have some of those tonight. But he's easing in tonight. It's like the little puppy that got popped with the newspaper, and it's like, no, puppy, we love you.
There were some people, Otter, who took to Twitter and criticized me as if I were criticizing Colucci, and I made it very clear. I genuflect at the altar of Colucci when it comes to NHL picks. But I want Thursday Colucci. I want Colucci in his right frame of mind so we cash tickets. No need to be overly aggressive. We've been over this.
I've given you, not many, but I've given you outside of Thursday picks before. They just won last time. But that's all right. He's not an ATM. If he was an ATM, he'd be on the island. With a hat.
I don't recall.
Trust me, I do.
I
But
don't
anyway,
recall ever getting
screaming,
Colucci picks outside of Thursday.
Okay, man. I'm not going to argue with you.
You shouldn't, because you're going to lose. It's impossible to win.
I understand.
Okay. All right, what do we got, Otter?
All right, so, when you're fishing, there's like a limit. You can catch so much.
Yeah.
We don't have limits on picks, huh? We can still keep fishing in the same pond, right?
You going back to Aggie Land?
College basketball, you're warm.
Okay. I have no idea.
Went 2-0 again on Tuesday night. Went 11-1 from Thursday to Sunday. Musso?
No, I'm telling you, he has no idea.
Unders.
Oh, first half unders. Okay.
Why stop here? So a 64, A&M, comfortable with a slow pace. Xavier also late season, first half under. I mean, if there's no limit, we're going to keep fishing.
All right, first half unders. Here we go. First half under A&M and Xavier. Got it.
Yes, I like I like A&M in this game, but this line is too high. You're dealing with teams that just missed the NCAA tournament. For instance, both the semifinal games were 1.5. This final is always Pickett 1.5, something like that. It's 5. 5 tonight. And understand, A&M is trending, but trends create values, trends create inflation. A 5-point spread. Now, I can remember outside of Thursday, but can also never remember a 5-point spread in an NIT final. This is really, really hot. A lot of public money on Texas A&M. I like the points with Xavier. And also, we're going to go back with the honor. Milwaukee Bucks on the road against the Nets, catching 2 against in Brooklyn, not New Jersey, in Brooklyn.
I heard that. They just moved.
Yes. They're rebranding the organization. So, anyway, but James Harden is not what he used to be. I'm sorry, he's in Philly now. I'll get it straight. We're going with the Bucks. Giannis.
Just give us the Bucks. No reason to just go with the Bucks.
Yeah, and listen now, we're 2-0 this week on in-game. You know, the position of the show, we do that. It's unfair to say, hey, I'm going to wait in-game and just tell you after we did it. But we are 2-0. We had the Bucks in-game plus 6.5 the other night, and we had the NIC game earlier in the week. So in-game has been pretty good. So we're going to put Hanny to work. He's going to get in this game. We've got Paul Nolan from freewinners.net, his Final Four picks. We got Colucci at 6:30, hopefully with some late hockey picks, and we're at Superior Grill.
We'll cash some tickets tonight. Enjoy the show there at Superior, Otter. We'll talk later.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, be well. That is Jimmy Ott. This is After Further Review. Game Time follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. Muse, what'd you learn?
Efton Reed, transfer portal.
Paulie, what'd you learn?
Austin Rivers got ejected for doing nothing.
Yeah.
What'd you learn, Matt?
That both of you are sellouts. I asked both of you for help, backing me up on E-Rock, working at St. Jude for a long time. Even Paulie left me hanging.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Maybe that just makes both of you actually really smart. WilliamsonEye.com. If you want to see 2020, there is a way. Call 924-2020. Go for that free consultation. Remember, you can have any of your eye care there. So if you want to go for your annual eye exam, you can book it for the Williamson Eye Center. Really what matters so much here is stressing all that they have to offer with refractive procedures. No matter your age or your refractive issue. If you're nearsighted, you're farsighted. If you've had LASIK before and now you need a different option. My dad had PRK in the early 90s. A lens replacement worked for him now. No matter your age or refractive issue, if you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, there is a way to do it, and the Williamson Eye Center can help. So call 924-2020 to set up that consultation. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.